You know, history is full of strange stories, but some of them are so bizarre, so completely unexplainable, that they make you question everything you thought you knew. Today, we're diving into some true accounts that sound like they're straight out of a movie, but nope, they're pulled directly from the historical record.
So let me ask you this. What if the absolute weirdest stories from our past were actually the truest ones? The accounts we're about to get into are really going to challenge what you think is possible. We're talking about that blurry line between coincidence, the supernatural, and, well, the just plain weird.
First up, we're exploring stories that make you wonder if there's some kind of greater force at play, you know? A little something called fate.
It really does sound like the setup for some elaborate magic trick, doesn't it? But this is the real-life story of John Lee, a man who stared death right in the face. And, apparently, death blinked.
So picture this, it's 1884, and a servant named John Lee gets accused of murdering his employer. The evidence was pretty circumstantial, to be honest, but he was found guilty and sentenced to hang. But then, on the day of his execution, something absolutely unbelievable happened.
The executioner pulls the lever, and nothing. The trapdoor right under John Lee's feet just refuses to open. So they take him off, they test the mechanism, and it works perfectly. They put him back on, and again, it fails. They try a third time. Still nothing. 3 separate attempts, and the trapdoor only jammed when John Lee was standing on it.
The public was absolutely stunned. The most popular explanation was that some higher power was protecting an innocent man. Now, of course, the skeptics had other ideas. Maybe a wooden plank had warped in the rain, or maybe a guard who liked him jammed it on purpose. But with no proof either way, the legend of divine intervention stuck. His sentence was changed to life in prison, and he became known as the man they couldn't hang.
So, sticking with this theme of fate, we're going to go from a man who somehow defied it to a man who seemed to see it coming, a man who could apparently predict the future.
This is Edgar Cayce, and on the surface, he was a totally ordinary guy from Kentucky. He worked as a photographer, but beneath that, he had this extraordinary, completely inexplicable gift.
His whole process was bizarre. He would just lie down, put himself into a trance, and people would only give him the name and location of a person. Sometimes they were thousands of miles away. And from that state, he'd deliver these readings, diagnosing super complex medical conditions, offering treatments, and even talking about world events. The craziest part? When he woke up, he remembered absolutely nothing.
And that contrast is what makes his story so fascinating. The waking Edgar Cayce was just a regular dude, no medical training whatsoever. But the sleeping Cayce, he diagnosed illnesses with just stunning